My name is Ben Tonra. I am full professor of international relations at the UCD Dublin School of International Relations and Politics. My primary research focus is looking at the European Union as a foreign security and defence policy actor, and also I specialise in Irish foreign security and defence policy. Primarily, I work on European Union foreign security and defence policy. My current research interests revolve around both the contemporary development of Europe's security and defence policy, particularly looking at issues like the strategic compass, looking at strategic autonomy, looking at transatlantic security and defence relationships post-President Trump. And also I have just completed, along with colleagues, a major international research project looking at the European Union's pursuit of global justice through its foreign policy. I think the big issues facing the European Union as a foreign security and defence policy actor are its credibility and its effectiveness. These have long been priorities for the European Union in the pursuit of its foreign policy, but I think in recent years they have come much more to the fore for a couple of reasons. First, because of Brexit, and the loss of the capacity of the UK as part of the European Union, but also how the withdrawal of the European Union has opened up new opportunities for the EU in terms of development of security and defence policy, particularly in the areas of strategic autonomy, in terms of developing a common concept of security and the strategic compass, and also looking at the more practical developments of things like the European Defence Fund, the European Peace Fund, and also the whole panoply of developments surrounding PESCO and more integrated security and defence policy. So there's a lot happening on the European Union front. There's a lot of new money on the table in terms of security and defence. There's a big political impetus behind security and defence, and we're seeing a lot of political activity in that area. Anything from Commission President von der Leyen's comment about having a more geopolitical commission, down to Josep Borrell, the High Representative, and his remarks about the European Union having to learn the language of power. The lessons of the UK's withdrawal from the European Union, I think, are twofold. One is that, material capacity is not everything. It is how you wield the material capacity that you have. The UK has withdrawn from the European Union. The European Union has lost, according to different estimates, between 20 and 25% of its material capacity, and yet the European Union has made bigger strides in the area of defence and security in terms of institution building over the last 12 months than it has done in the last arguably 10 years. So to that extent, it's more about political will, and it's more about shared sense of destiny. And the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union possibly suggests that the European Union is better able to carve for itself a distinct role when there is greater agreement amongst the members as to what that role should encompass. And that, to my mind, is why the German presidency's proposal of a strategic compass is so important, because that effort really is trying to define in sharper terms what it is we're agreed on in terms of what the threats are and what capacities we need to develop to meet those threats. And with a greater input from the European Commission and the European Parliament and the European budget, we have the prospect of the European Union making a greater contribution on the international stage. I think for me, coming from where I am in theoretical terms, obviously social constructivism is an approach that I think holds great promise, particularly, as I say, when you look at issues like strategic autonomy, different understandings of strategic autonomy, that very often is linked back to conceptions and understandings of national identity, national role, national place, which have deep roots in European societies and which are not easily either undermined or driven through. So for me, understanding of where these conceptions of strategic autonomy come from, how national identity fits into the construction of the European Union's defence and security capacity, and particularly how a European identity, European Union identity, in terms of security defence is either emerging or not emerging. Because clearly one of the big questions that we face in the developing of defence capacity is the extent to which Europe can either become a sovereign in its own right, and thereby wield military power, or, which is where I think I would come from, looking at the European Union as a multi-centered sovereign polity with many different sovereign actors therein, and how those sovereign actors can cooperate, potentially even integrate their capacities in pursuit of collective and collegial goals. That second model, that model of a multi-sovereign polity, is a very complex one, is a very innovative one, but I think it's one that serves better to reflect both the European Union's history and the European Union's capacity, as opposed to that model of a European Union which is very unitary and very sovereign-centric, and talks about things like a European power, a European sovereignty, a European army, which for me goes against the grain of where the European Union has come from and where the European Union currently is. I'd like to see different papers from students in different countries talking about their country's understanding of what strategic autonomy means for them. What for them does European strategic autonomy look like? What does it encompass? And what are its implications for their own national foreign and security defense policy?